What's the female equivalent of getting a random boner in class? ITT people misunderstanding boners. Getting a boner doesn't mean you're horny. Lots of things cause boners, especially in adolescence. It can be as simple as adjusting your legs or a slight temperature shift. The boner in class problem is that you suddenly get an unexpected, obvious boner, but then you get paralyzed and think it's more obvious than it is. The most similar problem I can think of is your period soaking through your pants, though less severe obviously. As a got aroused analogy, it's getting wet. But that's usually not so visible to others. From a visibility and degree of public embarrassment perspective, maybe period bleed through. At a lower level, maybe hard nipple pokies through a bralette or sports top. Edit yeah. The bleed through is more equivalent to a guy having cum stains on his pants. Visible hard on is more similar to the visible nipple situation. Both can be hidden with a binder. A random boner is when the body routinely decides that it's time to exercise the blood vessels and muscles in the dick. The female equivalent would be when the body decides that the areolas nipples need some routinely exercise. Guys who watch Friends liked very much indeed that Jennifer Aniston's body kept being so vigilante on this unconventional reply. Dilated pupils because the mind be wandering. If it happens to all women, that when my mind goes to Hornsville my pupils dilate enough to be noticeable. So, when you are in environments where Hornsville is not appropriate, it's a bit weird. When I was about 7 my friend and I were trying to work out what girls get instead of boners. We reason that since they have a hole, they get an opener. Years later I heard a woman say she had a wide on. And I thought, oh, we weren't far off. Forgetting to wear a bra really sucks looking super cold unless I slouched or found something baggy to put over top. Granted, I don't give two shits about this anymore, but at 14 and severely sleep deprived more days than not, really suck. A girl I dated as a teen would sit cross-legged and bounce the top leg for a few minutes. That was how she'd be stealthy and get herself off when she had the female equivalent boner. We were 14 at the time, and her sex drive was insane. During college I had a girl in my class that could get herself off by crossing her legs and sitting on the edge of her seat, rocking very slightly, hardly visible. I spotted her doing that so much during boring lectures lol. Equivalent for being turned on getting super hot flushed and feeling your vagina pulse because you're so turned on. Equivalent for visibility getting your period unexpectedly and bleeding through your clothes. Getting a random boob itch during a presentation and trying to discreetly scratch it without drawing attention. Bonus points if you accidentally make eye contact with your crush while doing the itch dance. I'm a man with rather small nipples for my size that tend to get hard and stay hard. A few times I've had to put cornstarch on my nipples at work to keep my shirt from rubbing them. Hurrah! If girls masturbate at specific time in day, and one day if they couldn't do it at that time then their clitoris starts vibrating a bit, not as intense as orgasm, but she can feel it. Breastfeeding mom here. My current boner in class situation is leaking through my shirt if my daughter starts crying or doesn't eat enough. Women actually do get hard. The clitoris grows and becomes hard. The labia minora doubles or triples in size. Your vagina also gets wet. Getting your period, preferably, and wearing some trousers in a light color and when you're not having any tampons or pads with you. If you're a chick who does steroids, your clit will be big and get hard the same way. Just a fraction of the size lol in my cases. Anyone who said anything to do with nipples and nothing about bleeding through their pants. Repressed all of middle school. How many times is this question going to be asked on Reddit despite the answer being the same every time and obvious? I guess getting hard nipples, but if you're wearing a padded bra or thick enough sweater, then it's not an issue. Period blood stain. And a good friend will always lend you a jacket tie around your hips to cover it up. Smelling like fish out of second you're in class, the next you're in the bathroom panicking. I start having a pulse downstairs and it feels like throbbing. There's a lot of moisture as well. This is what happens when they pull books out of school. The kids come to Reddit to learn, leaving a visible puddle in the seat after she gets up from whatever got her motor running. I seem to recall Jo Brand discussing this on her show once. I think her option was wide on. Maybe something like you accidentally got your period, and you weren't ready for it. One past female partner called it lady horn, another called it a getting a white on. Women get the same, but a hard on clit or wet cunt are less visible than a boner. You feel a gush. It could be getting randomly wet, or you just started your period. Likelihood is that you are all now having a discussion with a minor about sex. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, and this thread helped me find that out. Looks like a lot of women in here end the day with crusty panties. Okay, this thread isn't supposed to be this good. Sorry, not sorry. This is 2024. Women can get boners too. Update yourself. Nips hardening when you're wearing a thin shirt and bra. Maybe a random glob of discharge leaving your vagina. Depending on who you ask, it is also boner in class.